Good morning. I invite you, if you're not already standing, to please stand, if you're able, for the national anthem played by the Abington High School Marching Band.
Father God, and salute. Order. On.
Well, good morning again and welcome. My name is Reverend Dr. Christy Coburn. I am the chaplain and a past commander for the Abington American Legion Louis V. Dorsey Post 112. On behalf of our town veterans agent, Adam Gunn, who's behind me here, and the commanders of Abington's veterans organizations, Ken Coburn from the Louis V. Dorsey American Legion Post, Brian Martin from the Veterans of Foreign War, and John Beadle from the United States Veterans Vietnam-era Richard A. Fitz chapter, I extend a warm welcome to all of you who are here today in person and those who are watching at home. We thank you for taking time this Memorial Day to remember and honor our war dead. I have a few people to publicly thank for helping to make today happen. Thank you to Cullivan Landscape Construction for voluntarily taking care of the veterans lot here in this cemetery for today's ceremony. Thank you also to John Burnett and his crew from Arrowwood Landscape who maintain the lot voluntarily also throughout the year. Thank you to the Scouts under the leadership of Chris Schultz and Aaron Christian who placed flags at the graves of all veterans here in the cemetery. Thank you to Abington Cam and Kevin Tauchi and Matt Lyons, who's here today, who make sure that this ceremony is broadcast to our local cable access. Thank you to the color guards from our 3 veterans posts here in town who are behind me. Thank you to Wally Cunningham, who will be playing taps for us today at our ceremony. Thank you to the Abington High School Marching Band for sharing their music with us today. And thank you to Yaz and her staff from Yaz's Table who provided coffee for us today, and that coffee will be available after the ceremony. Also, before we move forward with our ceremony, I'd like to take a moment to remember 2 people. First, Skinny Pastuzik, Abington's oldest veteran, who died last week at the age of 103. I'd like also to take a moment to remember and honor our comrade and dear friend, Dennis Olson, who died this past March. Dennis was always here for these ceremonies. For years, he recited the Gettysburg Address from memory. He was committed to serving the veterans of Abington through the Abington American Legion. He was among the most wonderful humans I've ever known, and the veterans of Abington were blessed to call him our friend. He was very much loved, and he is very much missed. Today is an important day for us. What we do here in these few moments is sacred. And to the families of those who have sacrificed their lives for our freedom, your presence here with us as we remember and honor the lives and the deaths of your loved ones means more than you can ever know. I imagine these moments are both a blessing and a heartache for you. Please know that you have our gratitude, our support, and our love, always. Will you join with me in prayer? God of peace and love, today we remember and give thanks for our friends and family from Abington who gave their lives in the service of our country. When the need was greatest, they stepped forward to defend our freedom. O God, you yourself have taught us that no love is greater than that which gives itself for another. These honored dead gave the most precious gift they had, life itself. Help us to honor their memory today by caring for their family members, the family members they've left behind. Help us to ensure that their wounded comrades are properly cared for, and help us to be watchful caretakers of the freedoms for which they gave their lives. Never let us forget those who paid so terrible a price to ensure that freedom would be our legacy. In the name of peace, let us join together and say, Amen. So I was in an office recently talking with the receptionist, who was very kind and very friendly. And when I was on my way out, she said to me, "Happy Memorial Day." My heart sank. What the receptionist knew was that it was a long weekend with sunshine and sales. And because there was a line of people behind me, it wasn't appropriate for me to reproof her in that moment. The problem is that there are a lot of people who think similarly, focusing only on barbecues and sales and forgetting the heartache and sadness that this day brings for so many. And that doesn't mean that we can't or shouldn't be happy today or this weekend. My family gathered yesterday for a barbecue, and it was wonderful. But today, we are here to pay attention and to pay respect to what this day means. So what is this day? Well, technically, it's the day on which those who died in active military service are remembered. It is a federal holiday honoring the U.S. military war dead, as they are called. Sometimes, when I stand at the graves of our war dead here at Mount Vernon Cemetery, the emotions I feel are overwhelming. Young Ralph Hamlin, otherwise known as Buster, he's buried right over there behind you. He was just 20 years old, fighting an unpopular war, doing what he knew was the right thing for his country and for you and for me when he was killed, along with 3 other young Marines by an explosion in Vietnam. I stand at his grave and I wonder, what might he have become in life? What might he have done? Where might he be now? And then I think about his late mother and his beloved sister, both of whom I had the honor to meet, both of whom, over 50 years after Buster's death, still hold grief in their hearts that can be seen in their eyes and felt in their hugs. What an immense burden for a family to carry, and what a terrible loss to this world. And then I go to the far other end of this cemetery and I stand at the grave of Danny Vasilian. And I think about his mother, his siblings, and his wife. And again, my heart aches for the lifetime of pain they will endure. Danny was an American patriot, so proud of his service. You can see in the pictures of him how seriously he took his job as a United States Marine. He was doing the right thing, defending his country's honor, fighting for freedom, working to bring peace to a world that so desperately needs it. Today, when I talk to his family, I can still see and feel their pain. And there are so many others right here among us. The family of Richard Fitz, who stand behind me. Not only have they lived with this same heartache and pain of which I speak, but year after year, they stand here among you, not looking for attention, but to pay their own respects to their father and husband, and to the many others like him who died while giving their best to the country they loved. When I stand at the grave of Richard Fitz, and I think about How terribly long 22 years must feel when you are waiting for answers about your loved one's death and the remains of their human body. I can't help but cry. But honestly, my tears and prayers barely touch the depth of agony of the not knowing, not having any real way to process or grieve, because in your heart, he's still lost out there. And the list of heartaches goes on and on and on. So with all this heartache, maybe you're wondering why I said that none of this means that we can't or shouldn't be happy today. Where is the happiness in today? Well, I can't speak for everyone, but I can tell you this. I am happy you are all here. And I'm happy you're watching from home. I'm happy because I know that your presence here helps to bring comfort and peace to the Hamlin family, the Vasilian family, the Fitz family, and so many others like them. And I'm happy that I live in this nation, under these spacious skies, surrounded by such incredible courage, patriotism, and love. Courage, patriotism, and love that would lay down its life for me. I'm happy to have had the opportunity to wear this uniform and to have family members, my husband, my father, and my grandfathers, who have also worn the cloth of our country. There is a lot for which I am happy today. And that doesn't diminish my heartache. It doesn't take away the pain, sadness, or agony I feel when I stand at the graves of our war dead. My happiness is simply an expression of my gratitude. Gratitude for all that I have and all that I enjoy and all that I am free to do and be thanks to all that they gave and all that their families will continue to give for the rest of their lives. Amen. There are over 1.3 million reasons for you to take time to give thanks for your freedom today. Dating back to the American Revolution, there have been over 1.3 million people who have sacrificed their lives for our freedom. In addition, since World War I, there are still 81,273 POW and MIAs who are still unaccounted for. These are service members who died, but their remains were never able to be brought home. Can you even imagine how devastating that is for a family? If it were possible, I would read every single name, because each one was a precious life, and each one left behind a wide circle of family and friends who miss them terribly. What is possible, though, is to read the names of the 42 from Abington who made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom, and 4 other names of Abington natives who died while serving. And in some cases, where information and history are available, you'll also hear a brief description of how the hero died. Just remember, for every name we read here in Abington, there are over 30,000 others across the country being read today. We call this the roll call of the war dead. And thank you to the Abington American Legion Commander Ken Coburn for tolling the bell in honor of our heroes today. World War I. Second Lieutenant Edgar D. Bascom, age 26, killed in action at Beaulieu-Bois, awarded the Silver Star. Chester Lawrence Belcher, age 20, died of disease. Sergeant First Class Walter W. Coleman, age 26, died of disease. Sergeant Fred Henry Cook, age 32, died of a gunshot wound inflicted by an insane soldier. Lloyd Everett Crossman, age 19. Louis Vincent Dorsey, age 25, killed in action in the N Marne Offensive, received divisional citation and recommended for Military Cross. Corporal Robert B. English, age 29, killed in action in the Meuse-Argonne Offensive. Henry Chester Hurst, age 21, died of disease in the Panama Canal Zone. John Joseph Mahoney, age 28, killed in action in the Charlevoix Ravine during a battle in the Argonne Forest. United States Navy Fireman, 3rd Class Joseph Dennis Telesphore Martin, Jr., age 22, died of disease. Charles Edward Murphy, age 22, died from wounds received in action during the Was-En Offensive in France. Charles S. Myers, age 23, killed in action near Vaux, France. Myron Franklin Stewart, United States Marine Corps, age 29, died of disease. Sergeant Harold Leonard Taylor, age 23, died of disease in France. Shirley Sampson Thayer, age 28, died of disease. George Louis Wharf, age 28, died of disease in Souilly, France. World War II. Charles Handel Bellows, Jr., age 20, killed in action. Wendell Everett Chamberlain, aged 19, killed in action in Germany, awarded the Bronze Star. Private First Class Lloyd Robert Clapp, age 25, killed in action at Okinawa, Japan. John Aeneas Colburn, United States Navy, age 36. George Wilfred Coleman, age 28, killed in a plane crash near Hawaii in the Pacific. Edmund G. Crossley, age 21, killed in action. Elton Ernest Ekstrom, age 26, killed in action in Germany. George S. Forsyth, age 43. United States Marine Corps Captain Roy Erland Yelm, age 24, served in 7 major combats and was killed in action at Iwo Jima. Wellington Jameson, age 22, killed in action in France. United States Navy Seaman 2nd Class John Paul Keeley, age 26, missing in action and later declared lost at Okinawa when the USS Pringle was sunk by enemy fire, remains deemed unrecoverable. Clifford Ronald Kimber, United States Coast Guard, age 17, killed in action during the invasion of the Solomon Islands in the South Pacific, remains deemed unrecoverable. Richard Leo McHugh, United States Marine Corps, age 17, killed in action in the invasion of Guam in the South Pacific. Harold Robert McGeck, age 23, killed in action. Colonel John F. Monahan, chaplain, United States Army, age 56. Harold Robert Olson, age 21, killed in a bomber crash. Technician 5th grade John Irving Plummer, age 30, died from injuries he incurred during his service overseas. Private First Class Russell Francis Pierce, age 21, died from complications to wounds received while serving his country. John Rice, United States Marine Corps, age 21, killed in action in an airplane crash. Frank Otis Warner Jr., age 23, killed in the fall of a naval bomber. Korea. Marine Lance Corporal Gerald Lee Pattison, age 20, died from injuries sustained in a car crash while on duty in Arizona. Vietnam. Specialist 5th Class Dennis K. Adley, United States Army, age 19. Air Force Major Peter Bugby Christensen, age 39, killed in action in Laos. Staff Sergeant Richard Allen Fitz, Special Forces, age 22, killed in action in Laos, listed as missing in action, body not recovered until 1989. Specialist 4th Class Richard Francis Glinowitz, age 21, killed in action at Quang Ngai, Vietnam. Army Private First Class Glenn Raymond Gordon, age 20, killed in action at Binh Duong, Vietnam. Marine Corps Private First Class Ralph Gerald Hamlin Jr., age 20, killed in action at Quang Nam, Vietnam. Army Specialist 4th Class Ernest Hammond Laidler, age 20, killed in Long Can while serving as a door gunner on a military aircraft which collided with another aircraft in midair and then crashed and burned. Jeffrey Arnold Phipps, age 21, died in service to his country in Washington State as the result of a construction accident. Afghanistan. Marine Corps Sergeant Daniel M. Vasilian, age 27, killed in action while conducting combat operations in Helmand Province, Afghanistan. He was posthumously awarded the Bronze Star with Combat Distinguishing Device.
Color guard, prepare to render salute. Color guard, order. On.
And now may you, today and every day, carry with you the love of our war dead, the deep and abiding love that gave everything for you and for me. In the name of peace, let us join together and say, Amen. That does conclude our ceremony today. Thank you again to each and every one of you for being here today. And don't forget that Yaz still has some coffee down there.